วัสดีค่ะ Hi everyone. สวัสดีค่ะ I just want to know who has been to my hometown, Bangkok city. Woohoo! Great. So, I just want to make you familiar what's the meaning of city to me. So, I start with this. Bangkok is not a floodplain from the beginning, and flooding is as part of the living. But in the past, we learned how to live with the flooding through agriculture, through building house on the stilt. We use boats, we use canals as a mode of transportation. I just feel that the being of water people is still in our culture, in our being, but we just have to shift the urban infrastructure and invest in the right direction and learn to adapt even more. Is like our body, fixing out those elderly, the vein of the city, the drainage pattern, the natural drainage pattern of the city. I think that would be a critical and also nature positive, because right now all the canal is a sewage way. No one want to talk about it. No, we don't even use it. But in the past, it's actually part of life. Is how we commute, how we take shower, how we get food. It's like our kitchens. It's like everything. I was one of the victims, and with millions of my citizens, like Thai citizens. So I just feel that how can I be more benefit to fix these problems? And of course, home is so important to everyone, including us as an animal, so as a social being. So I just feel that by saving your home or try to fix your home to be safe is such a calling to me. After this past 100 years, we become such a big concrete city. So all of our city is built on top of floodplain. So when the city is not willing to get wet at all, so we sacrifice so much and we put so much hard infrastructure. We think about building more dams. That's mean destroying more forest, which we don't want to destroy anymore. So that is the meaning of my city, and I'm actually part of this global commission on nature positive city for World Economic Forums. So we work with mayors, other experts. But what I'm so honored is one of the experts, 15 of them is a landscape, one of them are landscape architects. I think this is so important that my profession and many of you somewhat landscape architect, Jessica and my friends from London, I think like we hold the key of the answer. And yes, and this is how I grew up. From being here, this is what it looked like from my playground. So it's very concrete, no trees. So this is like how I play with my friends who is not like human. Like this is like sneaky little plant trying to like creep out. And that's like some other living things that with me, with us in the city as a child. So my favorite game was to crack the concrete. to, like, so the plant can creeping out more. But when I grew up and I see my city, and I just realized that this is how big the concrete I need to crack. Yes. And this is the watershed. We're lucky. This is Bangkok. 1/3 of the GDP is actually from that yellow areas. And this is the whole flooding pattern in 2011 is the top 5 most disastrous flooding in the world. You can count how many trillions. And of course, it's maybe a little less than Katrina at the US, but we are developing world. So this is experience. I live with my sick mom who couldn't touch all this contaminated water. She's like, probably not gonna make it. And I think it's made me think like the meaning of the flooding is such a very like life or death kind of situation. This is, we flood other people, because if you really focus on that yellow thing, it's dry, right? The whole thing is getting wet and it's have to pass through that city, but we don't want to get wet. So this is how we flood other people upstream. Unexpected rain this day, sea level rise. This is Bangkok boundary in maybe like 30 years ago. Like people used to stand there. Right now I need to like take boat like 30 minutes to really get to where the boundary of Bangkok. So we are really, this is very normal. Who been to Bangkok in the rainy season? Right, David? Yes, this is very everyday living. And if you talk about resilience, we are super resilient. You can beat with us. Like Thai people, we are very adaptive. We know how to live with water. We know how to like secure ourselves. It's just, there's no policy for align with. It's gonna help us. So I really with you, Sheila, that who really help in that disaster is about like people, between like people with people. And this is very classic. Like the next day, the alligator or crocodile is like on the street, and yeah. But let's see this fact. Where are you in this map? Who emits the world most carbon? It's like of course, everyone knows this is like, let's say, a tub full of water, like the carbon. And we only have the last cup to pour in before the world getting heated up to 1.5. And now we're debating who have the right to pour that cup before the whole tub, like pouring out all the water. Whatever that's mean, either the governor trying to pledge a lot of money to the global south, but we never get that money, or whatever the conversation at COP would be. But in the reality, my city and many of yours is actually the most extreme, confronted. Go first, we go first, no matter how much you burn your gas. So I think we either adapt or we die. Yes. So adaptation can mean many things, but for us is either you adapt or you die. So I think when you talk about resilience, it's not very technical for us. The verb of resilience is adapt. But when you adapt, you have to know who you are and what you have, right? How you thrive to survive. So in 2017, I complete a park. It's the first park in 30 years. How old were you 30 years ago?
I was 5.
You was 5, yes. So it has been since you are 5 till now, till in your, it's the 15 million people doesn't have more park at all for 30 years. So this park was, you can see the sea of the concrete. So just to have one park is really, and this is right downtown Bangkok. And the land costs $1 billion US. And everyone wants to build more shopping mall. So this is, so we are flat as a delta city. So I incline the whole park and I collect every rain, every drops of rain in this park. And I equip with buildings, wetlands and retention pond. So I design a park that can flood and live with water. And this is how we use when we not flood. There are so many infrastructure. The money from the World Bank. Hello. Hi. That is sitting there waiting to be flooded for 20 years. This is what I mean by resilience. This is what I mean by we're not doing the same old thing, right? So don't trick us by putting in your document that this is resilient and then you get a loan. So this is how people use it. And it was crazy. And of course, as a Thai people, we don't have winter, fall, spring. What does it mean? We only have wet and dry. That's it. Wet or dry. This is wet or dry. Hot, really hot, something like that. Extremely hot. So the park can absorb water for 50 rain return period, and we can talk about the technical things here. But this is when it was open, and this is 5 years later. 5 years. Nature positive city is possible in 5 years, if we do it today. So this is right before I came here. And one day I got a call that is coming to visit your park. Can you walk him the park? I said, yes, I can. So I don't know this guy, and he just pop up in the park, and 100 people following him. And I just like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? So I walk him the park, I make him bike to clean the water for the park. And when I mean resilience design, you make people work for nature. You don't do infrastructure that make people stay where they were, and the infrastructure work for us. Because the real resiliency is actually within us. It's not infrastructure. And I remember very clearly that I told him that Bangkok is sinking faster than the sea level is rising. What does it mean? We are matching up with the ocean. Yep, so this is another project. It's the biggest urban farm rooftop in Asia. It's maybe the second largest one in the world. So this is the waste space in my city that okay. Yeah, this is the waste space in the city that I think we should do something with it. The rooftop. The rooftop initiative. Someone rooftop space. Yes, you. Yeah. So yes, this is if I don't work with the architect from the very beginning, the building will look like the one surrounded this building. I'm serious. I'm telling you, and this is where did I get my inspiration from? Guess. Yeah, rice field. Nature-based solution. Right? So what this roof does is slow down the runoff, create a space, renewable energy, pump up the water, use the gravity coming down, and get food. And slow down the rain 20 times. So instead of other building, throw down all the runoff right away to the public systems, this roof slow it down and give you organic food. And also give so much hope, possibility to the younger generation, because this is in the university. So, yes, I also turned the waste infrastructure into something better. This is my team, governor and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it would take like 5 minutes to list all people. So 40 years ago, and this is a very classic, the story that all Southeast Asian countries share. The government promised that, okay, we're gonna build the second bridge across Chao River, and we want to build this structure for the SkyTrain to arrive. And so while they build the bridge, they build this amputated structure, like floating structure, waiting for the train to come. And then it's never arrived. Yes. 40 years later, something is still floating up there. My generation don't even recognize this structure. And yeah, and we got a chance even before Sir Norman Foster, because he wants to do the bridge park across in London, but it's not feasible. But as a Thai, we invested 40 years ago. How smart we are. So we turned it into a park. Yes, and this is the real photo. Yes, this is a very prime area of historical area of Bangkok to that part. So next time, if you go to Bangkok, go to this spot, free, no ticket, no. And also, it's not very hard. It's not very easy for us to access the river, even we are the water people, because it's either occupied by a 6-star hotel, maybe some of you love to stay, or informal settlement, or government property. So for the lay people like us, we don't have access to water, just even to sea. So this is how this leftover infrastructure that we can adapt, and now it's become a very lovely space for people. The concert is there, and people love to be there for countdown. It's crazy. And Venice of the East, you guys call us Venice of the East. So we call Venice Bangkok of the West. Because we are both sinking at the same time. And of course, we have so many canals. So if you ever ask what is your favorite projects, I would say I would love to change all the canal in Bangkok to be clean, to livable, because this is us. And you see this natural infrastructure. But this is what it looks like right now. It's such a little shift that we should believe Dutch people, but we choose to work with American planner back then. So, no, I'm kidding, but it's true. So the whole thing is shifting, and this is the canal. It's not connected. I just go quick. So we picked this canal and working with the BMA. I'm not working in BMA. I'm working with BMA as a landscape architect, because BMA don't have any landscape architect as a practitioner there. So we choose this canal because it's connected to Chao Phraya River. It's have like this plant wastewater treatment that we can reuse the water back into the canal, because right now it's look like this, but it's actually possible that it's look like this. And it's also connected to the urban transportation, like the SkyTrain. And this is the most, used to be maybe still the most dirtiest canal in the city, but it's in the most expensive property in the city. And now it can become something more than just canal. Urban connectivities, using nature-based solution to clean the water, and of course the most public green space that needed in this city. This is another canal. David Jackson used to work in this canal, right? This is, yeah, this is very historic canal in Bangkok, and I can talk about it, but this is how we design city. Homeless people is part of our design, but when we don't do the well design, they probably stay in some place that we not intend to. And this is how the canal look like, because we don't want to get wet. People can't swim anymore when they fall down into the canal. So the city decided to build this China wall of Bangkok, right? The whole 5.5 kilos, and you better off with no one fall into the canals. But this is what the urban look like. So when we don't want to deal with canal or water, this is how the city look like. And even for me to maybe fix that 8 meters pathway, this is how many people I have to go to talk to. It's not the same like you guys, right? This is who is the most difficult people to talk to? Guess. Fine art and culture, yes. Because they are there to say, no, you cannot touch this. It's already been registered. No, you cannot touch this. So, not that the rest is not hard, but the hardest is the Ministry of Culture. So we have to go to Prime Minister because he's the biggest in the national level just to make these things work. And eventually we break down all the silo just to fix the pathway across the canals, and like tons of people, public participations, and finally the China Wall or Berlin Wall of Bangkok has been destroyed. And yep, nothing fancy, but it's very hard just to implement nature-based solution, or what you so-called, because nature is not working in any silo. All the department in government need to work together, but they never talk with each other. It's only in Thailand, right? This is very unique. Yes. So this is how I can get people closer to the canal as much as possible. And my other question, how can I adapt my government? Why do all government look like this? Even we talk different language, why they have to look like, I can't explain. And when they talk about landscape architect, they understand that this is what I do. Little cute potted plant, flower in front of like this planter. And they are so emotionless. Like they don't express, why do they have to make their people feel so small? Anyone knows? Through the architecture, through the design. Yes, I know, this is how they want to scare us. I don't know, why do they need to do that? And this is the Thai version. So during COVID, I got a chance to convince this whole government city, which is like the biggest gather space of the government in the nation, 27 departments, 9 ministers, they come together to work with no mass transit for 20 years. So this is how people get to work as a government or to deal with government. Of course, we have bus, but no one uses bus in Thailand. You sweat, you hot, it doesn't come on time, and you never know when you're going to get there. So everyone drive to this government, to see government, to be scared. Oh. and this is, when you go, you don't have any parking space left because it's 37,000 people per day in work in that. So everyone drive. So I said, okay, this is not gonna work. And last year, which is like 6 years ago, we know that this train's gonna come. We have to revise all this master plan. So we find that short linkage, and then that linkage is actually linked to these ugly buildings, the existing parking space. The train comes, we need this line, so we have to connect, and we asked to redesign this skywalk. Sorry, my jet lag a little, my brain. So so we did the skywalk for people to seamlessly connect, and we turned that ugly building. This is the new experience, people coming to work in this government city. And we turned this ugly building into this. And do you know why I use curve? Because I want government to feel feminine. But I don't tell them. But you know. So this is how we revise, we adapt them to really understand what does it feel to walk. What does it feel to feel welcome, right? So this is part of the phase 1 of the projects. This is the experience of that plaza from the skywalk. And of course, the skywalk is connect from this department of Supreme Court and finance, and we have to also like lobby these two people. So even with the government, it's not easy. G to G is very difficult. It's crazy, but yep, this is the work. And of course, the TOR actually starting from this parking space. Whatever makes the story short, we need to have this parking space. So we asked to lift them up, have them have this slow down the runoff as a facade. So this is the building not only for car, but for people. And we celebrate the rain with the golden rain chain that the white part would be structured, the golden one is rain. So we collect the rain because people don't really have any relationship with rain anymore. Government should show us what to do on the rooftop. So urban farming, solar roof needs to be equipped so the officer can be part of it. 12 techniques, decarbonize, and continues. A drop of rain from the sky to the ocean. Sounds very nice, simple here. But how many departments does it go through? Have you ever mapped that in your nation? Mine is 50. Anyone can beat us? Okay, we win. So just to show you that, of course, the investment and all this thing, but if the government, you don't move, we can't move. And how can we make what we do, even if it's such a little small things, can shift this thing? So I'm trying my best to working in our level. This is at COP27. I have Mr. Hank. That time is a water envoy, meeting with my minister, talking about water now. And also working with Stephanie from Delta Less. Yeah, working in this project to really put all these 50 departments with local, right? Stephanie, you can add on this too. Yeah? Yes, please.
What we do is we bring all the 50 and not only government but also community together, and we see how we can make the next step.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I need. Okay, 5 minutes. Oh my God. Okay. I come very far. So, yeah. So I have. Of course, there's so many techniques that I think we need expert like Dutch people for water, but really find our own answer. And there's so many things that we want to copy Dutch solution, and that's not relevant to us anymore. And we need the real people to talk to them that stop doing this. Okay, so I talked with governor, this is the team together. So sometimes you cannot just work with yourself, you have to work with zero scale to make things work. We be on the canal, no one's there, no one used canal this way, so Stephanie was there. It's smelly a bit, but yes. So I went to COP next year. This is my friend Pamela. We work on the guideline to make the warm data for nature-based solution. Because nations have to have national adaptation plan, and they get this. And when I looked through my national adaptation plan, none of the words called nature-based solution or anything about nature. So we work together. You can download our guideline too. We want to spread not the nature-based solution from the global north, but also from the global south as well. This is really critical that the way we adapt, we don't need to copy anyone. We can adapt in our own way. as the meaning of the resilience. Okay, so you can fix the heat with all this landscape solution. And of course, we all know here, but for the government officer, they probably don't understand all this technique or warm data that this is how we adapt. Coastal flooding, inland flooding, biodiversity, food, carbons, and yes. So I think the really important is how you make people resilient. You're not making infrastructure resilience for us. Hello, World Bank. Yes. So this is how I work with my community too. The flooded canal community. I don't have much time, but I really want to show you this part of sinking part of Bangkok that we're working with. And if you eat any shrimp, it might come from this place. But we destroy mangrove to trade off for that. And this is what it's like.
A mega project was recently refloated by Thaksin Shinawatra, political doyen and the father and advisor of the current Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra, called the Pearl Necklace. It would consist of a string of 9 artificial islands that would act as a barrier to the rising seas. It's a radical proposal that would involve massive offshore construction. Such a project would irreversibly change the natural dynamics of the Gulf and of water movement in and around Bangkok. And experts say it must be very carefully considered.
I hope that the project of Pearl Necklace wouldn't shock our neck as a nation, because it's only focused in one water element, which is sea level rise. But as a delta city, as Bangkok, we actually confronting with the big problem of the water from the north. So if we have some more structure that actually gonna make this water flow in opposite direction, that means we're gonna create flooded Bangkok forever. I think we need to think systematically. Only just to focus fixing one problem is not going to be enough.
Bangkok is busy with works to improve canals, drainage systems and water retention infrastructure. But landscape architects like Kotchakorn are pushing for something different.
Okay, I go fast. So this is a settlement that's been lost in one lifetime. This guy moved their house 7 times, but in the same place, backward. And we work with him and his team along the Gulf of Thailand. This is not what we want. And many governments can use sinking Bangkok to do this type of project. And I think it's multi-million, trillion projects that cannot be funded in the nation. And we need World Bank, we need ADB, but how can we stop this solution? We try to work with BMA, with local government, with institution, to come up with solution that fit for us. And we try to use nature because only speed of 0.2224 centimeter per second, you can capture sediment. You cannot build dam and you expect the land. So hope we luck. So when you talk about top down, bottom up, this is, I think we should work top down, bottom up like this way and then go together. We need both. And this is a tough part of the world. We are sinking, and all this crazy infrastructure is contagious. While you build the dam and you still flood yourself. And when I show this picture to my community, my people, they understand that this is not what they want, but they don't know, right? When the top-down resilience solution come down. The top-down resilience, what does it mean? And when you talk about infrastructure, of course you guys know about this climate work, something that sucks carbon for you. For me, this is not resilience, right? This is so not resilience, and please don't come to my region. This is not going to fit my region. The money is only cost 870 car per year in terms of carbon sink. Go invest in something else. Sorry. I think we need to be wise, and this is what resilient might mean to me. Thank you.
That was brilliant.